We defended individual liberty by banning COVID vaccine mandates for government employees and publishing the potential risks related to the shot. And we took another step to expand education freedom by ensuring disabled students can attend the school that best fits their individual needs. And we protected the police officers who protect our constitutional officers and my family in keeping their security information and tactics exempt from Freedom of Information Act disclosure. We said we'd do it, and we got it done. I'd like to thank our partners in the legislature for all these historic wins and for supporting this administration, not just this week, but in the 8 months of conservative transformational change that we've made since I was sworn into office. After my signature today, we will have permanently shaved $250 million off of annual income taxes and $58 million off annual corporate taxes. We will have delivered up to $150 in one-time tax relief for middle-class taxpayers and created the Arkansas Reserve Fund to keep responsibly phasing out the state income tax entirely. If you're a business owner looking to relocate or a young family looking for a new place to settle down, moving to Arkansas has never been better. We continue to implement Arkansas Learns, putting every student in our state on the path to a great education and a good paying job. Already nearly 5,000 students in nearly 100 schools have signed up for Education Freedom Account program. And we've hired 78 new literacy coaches who are deploying around the state to get students reading at grade level. Every teacher is starting this school year with a salary that is thousands of dollars, sometimes over $10,000 more than they were paid last year. On crime, we are implementing our Safer, Stronger Arkansas reforms to put hardened criminals behind bars. Our Department of Corrections has already brought hundreds of new prison beds online and is planning for the 3,000 more that will be added. Repeat offenders and killer drug dealers are going to think twice before committing their next crime because they know they will no longer be let off with a slap on the wrist. We are protecting our kids from online threats, and big tech companies are waging an all-out war on our state to prevent our reasonable reforms from going into effect. I say that if these abusive, addictive companies are this scared of us, we must be on target. And people around the country are looking to Arkansas as a bastion of normal in an ever crazier world. No more men playing women's sports, no more indoctrination in our schools, no more gender science experiments on our kids. This is what this administration and this legislature have been able to do in just 8 months. And we're not stopping here. We are breaking the status quo. We are bucking special interest, and we are making Arkansas the absolute best state in the union to live, to work, and to raise a family. I can't thank our legislature enough for their hard work and their partnership. Now I'm going to turn it over to Bart and Matthew to make a few words. I'll come back up and take questions, and then we will sign some wonderful new legislation into law. Thank you.
Well, on behalf of the Senate in Arkansas, we want to say thank you for the people of Arkansas that have reached out to us through text, emails, phone calls, our constituents that have reached out to us with good feedback. And I think this has been a very successful week for the democratic process, for feedback from the people, and just success on everything that we came down here to do. You know, there's nobody in this building that likes to save money in a good, strong savings account like Jimmy Hickey, and we're about to sign a bill to protect that. There's nobody in here that understands the importance of responsible tax cuts and doing it the right way than Senator Jonathan Dismangian, and we're about to sign a great tax cut bill. And there is nobody that I know in this building that is for removing requirements for vaccines as much as Senator Josh Bryant, and we're about to sign that bill. And anyway, I thank the governor for calling us down here to do these very important things. Thank you to Speaker Shepard for working with us. Thank you to the people of Arkansas for your feedback this week.
I would just echo Senator Hester's comments. I want to thank the governor and her staff, as well as Senator Hester in the Senate, for all of their work. I want to thank my fellow members of the House. We've worked hard this week, and there's been a lot of discussions, a lot of collaboration, a lot of back and forth. But at the end of the day, as we've done time and time again, we've come together to do the work of the people of Arkansas, and it's important work. And I want to thank our sponsors that stepped up and took the lead, particularly Representative Eves on the tax cut, Representative Beatty on the reserve fund, and then Representative Ray on the FOIA bill, but all of our sponsors as well for the hard work that they have done, and look forward to signing these bills into law. I think, as I said earlier, once again, the Arkansas legislature, in concert with the governor's office, has come together to do the work for the people of Arkansas. And once again, we're going to cut taxes while at the same time saving money and doing this all for the benefit of the people of Arkansas. That's something that I think we all can be proud of, and I look forward to seeing each of these pieces of legislation signed into law. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker Shepard and President Hester. And again, a huge thank you to all of the members of the legislature who have helped us have an incredibly successful 8 months. And with that, we'll happily take your questions. We'll come back to you. Go ahead.
The bill that passed today is a lot less than the original first one and second one. Are you pleased with what passed today? Then will there be an effort to get anything passed with everything else that was missed in what passed today?
Absolutely. We've made it very clear that our number one priority was the safety component within the FOIA legislation. That's part of governing. You come in, we got exactly what we really needed that is critical, and we're not going to continue or not going to stop continuing to fight for more government efficiency and effectiveness. And I think this is just the beginning of that process. Go ahead.
So much talk about the safety of you and your family. Do you now feel safe? Does this bill make you feel safer?
I think it certainly helps. You know, the fact that I get to work with some of the bravest, most dedicated members of law enforcement gives me a great sense and peace of mind, but it also, my goal is to listen to them. I'm not a safety expert, and I have to lean on them to give guidance on how best for them to do their job so that I can best do my job. And I don't second guess them, but I listen to the advice and guidance they give, and I'm thankful for their willingness to do the job that they do every day, because it's certainly not easy, and I will never apologize for defending the men and women in law enforcement and helping them do their job better. Wickline.
Senator Hester, since your name's on the bill, on social media, there's been a lot of, worst case scenarios and concerns about, potentially the governor or other constitutional offices using this law in a various way, or, whatever, governor flying all over the place throughout the nation doing campaigning. What safeguards for the taxpayer are in such a
Now, that's a great question. I'll tell you that number one safeguard is you elect legislators to come down here and represent you, and the legislature has the absolute ability through audit to see every one of those individual receipts. And I think almost all Arkansans can agree that anything that we think puts the governor's life or any governor life at risk, we should keep safe. So that's what we're going to continue to do. We're going to keep that safe, but know that your elected officials, Democrat and Republican, will be able to see those through our audit process.
So I can get, if I'm doing a per diem story, I can get your TR1s. Under this law, I won't be able to get her TR1s, but will I be able to get the TRN ones of the Attorney General, the Treasurer, if they go to Hawaii?
I can't speak for the TR1. I wasn't prepared for that question, but I can tell you we're leaning on the Arkansas State Police and the professionals to tell us what keeps our elected officials safe, and that's what we're going to lean on.
Can you get me an answer on that today?
I will get you an answer. Yes.
We can do that. I think one other important piece to note here is that we actually added new language and put a new requirement on our own agency to disclose expenses, something that has never been done in the past. And so we are trying to add in layers of transparency so that you can see those things. And to Bart's point, you will still have access to information through the legislature as well. DeMillo?
Given that you pushed for much broader changes at the beginning with the FOI bill, the pushback that came from it, did you misjudge how much support there was around the
I don't think so. I think you always go as big as you can and look for those changes that you know will make governing more effective, more efficient. Our job is to work with our partners in the legislature. We don't get to dictate the rules of the game all by ourselves from the executive branch. We put something out, we worked with our partners, we're very happy with the result and what came from it. We made it very clear on the front end that this was the most critical and important piece, was the safety and the security component. And we now have a bipartisan piece of legislation that was supported not only by Republicans and Democrats, but also endorsed by the Arkansas Press Association, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, bringing, frankly, a lot of unlikely allies to the table. And again, I think this is the first step. We came here to shake things up, to change the status quo, and frankly, we're just getting started 8 months in.
Do you plan on, if you do push for additional exemptions, do you plan on doing it in less of a compressed time period? A lot of the complaints were that trying to do this during a special session. Would you rather do it in a regular session rather than do it quickly like this?
I'm not ever going to take options off the table. I think anytime we have the opportunity to do better by Arkansans, we're going to look for those moments. If that is being able to chip away at our state's income tax like we're being able to do, and we'll sign into law here in a few moments, that's a great thing for Arkansans. And I don't think that's something we should have waited to do. So most certainly when we have opportunities to better the people, better the government, then we're certainly going to do that. Take one last question.
On the original FOI bill, there was like 40-something co-sponsors. There was a lot of support, but quickly, Monday, a lot of support started to fade away. Did you do a good enough job of communicating with lawmakers about what was in the bill before the session started?
I think if you look at the final package, it was passed overwhelmingly in both the House and the Senate, also with bipartisan support for every single piece of legislation that we'll sign today. I think that's a huge victory, not just for those of us standing up here, but frankly, for the entire state of Arkansas. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.